Hi, I'm Kate, and this video is going to be about shielding and why you shouldn't do it. A lot of people, when they kind of first wake up to this whole broader world of like the matrix and psychic ability and all that kind of thing, it can be daunting. And you know what? They affect us on two levels, the whole system. So they try and keep you asleep, try and keep you in the system, in the matrix, in all of the suppression. And if they can't do that, if you have woken up to it, then they pile a fear on. And they build into the sort of awake community a lot of fear programs and a lot of influence that can make you afraid of this and afraid of that and afraid of everything else. And it puts you in kind of a defensive mode. And some people will, they want to try and, if they're struggling, they think, coping mechanism, dealing with other people, or because one other thing is you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I want to tell the world, I want to help everyone else. And you go and tell the world and they're like, you're an absolute nutcase, bugger off. And it just causes conflict, and then you just feel alone, and then it can be a really bad place. And people can, through the whole love and light community, can pick up some things that are counterproductive, because there's a lot of things are like slipped in there, influences slipped in there to try and mess things up a little bit and to make life harder for us. It's like, okay, you've woken up, now we're going to get you from this angle. It's frustrating. So one of them is shielding or bubbles, making like a bubble of light around you, or shielding yourself so that nothing can get at you. But you know what? If you think you need to protect yourself from something, you're going to manifest something to protect yourself from. Like if you think there's going to be a fight coming, you'll find a fight. Do you know what I mean? As we go through these videos, you're going to find this crops up a lot. I'll try and explain things, and it'll happen multiple times that this will become relevant. Our beliefs are turned around. We've got them the wrong way around. A lot of things we have to flip on their head, and this is one of them. So we think, okay, we need to be strong and protect ourselves, but you will manifest something to protect yourself from because you're expecting it. That's the path you're preparing for it. That's what you're creating in that action. So I'm going to turn it around, because you might still feel, okay, but I do need something. I'm struggling with these situations, with these people, with these moments in my life. I need something. So there is, it is kind of, there is a tool we can use. There's a method in which we can do it, which is turned around and works and will work, and it'll help, kind of heals as you go along, everything. It's like we pick up these little tools, but they'll only get us so far. They give us little tidbits. They make us feel better, but they don't take us further. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So what we're going to do instead, there's ways that you can kind of clear energy. I'll go through clearing down another time, because it's quite relevant to when you're doing psychic work. You work with other people's consciousness. You need to sort of clear all that away after. I didn't once, and I had a nightmare that night about the person who was causing problems for the person I'd worked with, and it's like, shit, won't forget that again. so yeah, that's something I'll do a video on in its own right as well. But instead of a shield or a bubble or anything like that, focus on your heart and just feel your heart just expanding out of you, just bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Not in a bubble, just going on forever. Just feel it. Or if you can't envisage it going on forever, envisage it sort of fading off into the distance, kind of like a gradient. Like, so it's almost like the energy is evaporating off out of you, sort of all around you. And when we do all this kind of work, you might think, well, is it real though? Doesn't matter. If you think, well, I'm trying to make it happen and I can't make it happen, make it up. Imagine it, okay? Literally just imagine it. You don't feel you can do it, just imagine it. That's literally all it's going to be. That's, they've taught us we can't do this. They've taught us this stuff isn't real. And you discover it is by just doing it anyway and seeing what happens. And you just roll with it to see where it goes, honestly. And it starts to prove itself so quickly. So you don't have to believe it. You don't have to know if it was real. Just give it a punt. Just have a go anyway, So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't feel it's something you have to try to do. Just feel it, have a go. And if you don't feel like it's happening, imagine it. Because that's basically all we're doing. That's how we start. We start by just imagining it anyway. And it is real. It is. And it starts to prove itself really fast. So it's, and then things start to come to you. You're like, okay, well, if I don't know how to reach out to this person, I'm just going to imagine they're there. And then suddenly you see something and you see something else. And you're like, oh, I can see your mum and she's really angry at you. And they're like, yeah, my mum's really, she's got problems, And it's like, oh, you didn't think you were really doing it. You thought you were imagining it. And quickly you realized you weren't, So it's, so just have a go anyway. Just feel your heart just expand. Just get bigger and bigger and bigger and just fade off out of you. No limit, no bounds. Just goes as far as you can feel it go. And just empower yourself. So you're not taking yourself into a situation where people can't affect you because you've got a shield up. You're taking yourself into a situation where people can't affect you because you're just too badass anyway. You're a higher resonance. You're just giving off such great energy. Their shit's not compatible with it. And you start to see, as you kind of go through your own healing and you drop your traumas and you kind of understand things and you put these pieces together, you start to see people's behavior change around you. And sometimes you can see it sort of like a moment they would have kicked off before. And you can see it almost flit across their face and they don't really know what to do. And they react differently to the way they normally would have. And they just calm down and they're just a bit happier and a bit more relaxed. And it's like, oh, this is new. This is interesting. So it's just flip it around. Don't shield, just empower. Just feel your own power. Just coming out of you in every direction. Just infinitely, just try it. Just have a go. Don't have to believe it. Don't have to feel it's real. Just give it a go anyway. See what happens. That's where this whole journey starts. Just give it a go anyway. I hope that's helpful. Drop messages in the comments if or get back to me. Drop me an email if you want. Let me know how you get on with it and I'll keep it coming. We'll see what else we can find that can help.